Hello, and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 48. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and with me today is Rose Heck, our stitch along leader. Hi Rose, how are you today?
Good, Janice. How are you?
I'm good. We've got a sunny blue sky day out there today.
Yeah. Over here, I think it is. It's starting to pick up the wind. We've had lots of wind, crazy weather. So,
Well, the forecast for the weekend isn't that great. We were talking about going camping, but we might not go. But I'm sure hoping to see some green shoots coming up in my garden soon.
my garden has been coming up pretty good.
Oh,
So I'm happy with that. If it doesn't rain today, we'll probably have to water the garden. But yeah, everything has been coming up. So fingers crossed.
oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Well, I got a little bit late of a start in planting my garden this year because I was away for a couple of weeks in May. I went on Jeanette Douglas's Rhythm of the Rhine cruise. We started in Switzerland and ended up in Amsterdam. And I was traveling with my best partner in crime for those kinds of adventures. So we had a pretty great time. We ate fondue and raclette and Bittenballen. Is that the?
Yeah, Bittenballen.
Yep, tasted all of the beer and wine that we could on the way.
Yeah.
We went on bike tours, pedal bikes actually, not even e-bikes, and took a couple of hikes, and kind of got a little lost on one of them, but we came out
Really?
okay. So
You're here now, so obviously you figured that one out.
yeah, it was supposed to be a little explore that ended up being like 16-kilometer hikes, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so we had a great time, and so much so that we're planning for the next couple of Jeanette Douglas events. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, great way to see everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this video, I can't believe it's number 48 already, and
I know.
I can't believe it's month number 5 for the Ann Jonson sampler already.
True.
So we're going to talk about Ann Jonson. We're going to talk about some plans in the shop. And we're going to have a little hand-dyed linen parade. And let's get going.
Okay.
So how's your Ann Jonson looking?
It looks good. I got month 4 done, which all of those deer, I believe, I felt that they would never end. But they did.
Oh, good.
So sorry for the light. They're actually trying to avoid the sunlight coming in. So that's month 4, that strip. And it's interesting how some people are changing it up. One gal in particular has put in different motifs because the deer in that didn't speak to her. So it's kind of interesting to see how people are being so creative with this piece.
Yeah.
So,
and nice that they're posting their changes in the Facebook group too.
yeah.
So if you're wondering what they did, just go browse through the last couple of weeks of posts in our Facebook group to see the photos and see. One thing that I noticed in the Facebook group was Krista Gramer made a comment about those looking like a parade of labradoodles in the. Yeah, I thought that was funny. But we have a standard poodle who's a party poodle, so he's black and white, and I'm going to insert a picture of Charlie here. So I haven't stitched that part of the sampler yet, so I think I'm going to include a black and white doodle in there.
There we go. There we go.
And I wouldn't have thought about it if Krista hadn't said anything, but so anyway, awesome. So I haven't actually touched Ann Jonson since our last video. There just hasn't been time to get set up with my stand and my iPad and everything. So I've been stitching on some other small things, but just not with the frame. So I wanted to ask you, you did the sawtooth border in month number 4. Do you have any tips?
Count every one. There's no other way of saying it. When I first started, I thought, oh, this is a piece of cake. We'll just go. And I got, I can't remember, couple type thing. And I looked again and it's like, wait a minute. This is not standard. This is, you have to really count Is there any way of doing it? No, just take each section and count it. Somebody on the Facebook was saying something about a pattern, and I don't know if there is really a pattern. I would say don't fall into expecting a pattern, because there's a non-pattern to the pattern. If that makes sense.
So yes, be aware, count it all.
Be aware. Yeah.
Okay, well, good to know. And so how did you find the coverage? Did you have to go in and do any filling, or were you happy with it?
I actually, for every straight stitch, I did 2 in each one.
Oh, you did
just to give it nice, just to give it a nice full. And there was a couple of areas where you might have a thicker strand of your linen, and I would maybe put in 3, and you really have to play that by ear.
Okay.
So now, yeah, everyone's going to be different. Someone's going to go through with 1 strand and say that's good. So,
right. So the other point of clarification here is that you and I are both stitching our Ann Jonson sampler using SWA 100/3 on the 46 count linen. And the SWA 100/3 is maybe not the most awesome thread for satin stitch because it's so tightly twisted. So I think that people that are maybe using Soie d'Alger will find that 1 strand or 1 strand with a filler here or there is going to give them really good coverage.
Yeah, I never
but
thought
I can see where with the 100/3 you'd have to double up.
You definitely have to.
Yes,
so,
and the better result is to do each pass of the satin stitch twice, as opposed to trying to put 2 strands in your needle, which is just an exercise in frustration, I think.
Yeah, because then you're going to have to try to railroad those 2 pieces, or they'll twist onto themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and some may ask, why don't I do 1 pass and then go back and fill that in? And you can. My issue with that, and I've done it before, sometimes you can't find the hole, and that is an exercise in frustration also. So,
okay, good to know. Well, see, it's always nice to hear the advice of the people that are ahead of you. So I'm just going to show mine.
Okay.
Because just to remind everybody of where I was a month ago at this time.
I don't
so I've started the Labradoodles, and I still have room to put Charlie in one of these spaces. So I will do that and show him to you next week or next month.
I still see them as deer. And a few months ago, going for a walk, I ran into 3 mamas and all of their fawns, and there was probably 10 fawns between the 3. So they were grouped together, and it was early or late winter. And so I see this as, the does and their mamas all grouped together. So everyone has their own theory of what they see in that.
Cool.
Sorry, there is nothing to eat.
So now we're going to talk about.
That was Siri.
Siri was talking to. That's okay. So the next month's assignment, month number 5, is this section here.
I'll show you right there.
Okay, I found this on the web. For what's the next assignment number 5 is this section here. Check it out.
We're both getting Siri talking, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, I'm going to turn my phone off. Okay, that's done.
There is no specialty stitches. It's all cross stitch in there. So it's not a bad section to do.
No. Should be quick because not a ton of stitching and just cross stitch.
Right.
The next section is going to be that parrot and that middle cartouche that has the verse in it. And I'm just going to do that all at once, I think, next month.
Yeah, I'm looking at month 6 and month 5 and 7. And in hindsight, I should have balanced that better. It's sometimes really hard when you're dividing. So I may take in a motif here, depending how I feel on month 5, and just balance that out.
I think that's a good idea. We'll see what the month brings for stitching time, and if that
because that'll be by the time we hit month 6, that's well into the summer, and I may not want to be doing that much stitching or have the time.
Right. So the part that I really am looking forward to stitching is these guys where there's a flower stitched inside of the flower.
Yeah.
But I have to be patient to get down there. And so this has been such an enjoyable sampler and stitch along. And the sampler is from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And it is the traditional stitches exclusive for this year. So it's only available through us. And we do still have charts and linen threads all available, as well as the special exclusive thread beds that we had made for this sampler that have the image of the sampler on the outside, and then the thread bed for your thread ends on the inside. Yeah. So that is linked below, and we're only in month 5, so there's still plenty of time to join us. And even if you're not into the whole stitch along thing, it's a great project to have in your stash while you can.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. Alrighty, so I am looking forward to getting a little bit of stitching time in on Jonson. It's the only project that I'm going to take next weekend when we go to Edmonton for the Stitch and Stash retreat. And that's kind of the big thing right now under plans for the shop, is getting ready for that. So we've started packing bins and organizing things to pack. I can't start packing too early, or I find that I take way too much stuff.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to it. The theme is Christmas in June. And so we've made some extra kits of Christmassy designs that are just going to be grab and go so that people can start them right away at the retreat. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we are borrowing Ron's truck, which is a Dodge Ram full-size truck with a topper on it that you can stand up in. And we are going to fill the back of that truck with bins and drive it up to Edmonton. We should be open, maybe not Thursday morning quite, because we still will need some setup time, but throughout the whole weekend, we'll be there open with stands and lights and charts and notions, anything and everything we're planning on bringing. So looking forward to seeing people there. If you are coming to the retreat, we can't bring it all though. So please remember that if you need to kit anything, get us your advanced orders by Tuesday at the latest, and we'll do what we can to be able to include it and pack it. And I'm leaving on Wednesday, so that's kind of the time frame.
Good idea.
What else do I want to tell you about that? So our shop in Calgary will be open while I'm away at the retreat. I heard something last night that maybe people thought that we were closing the shop while I was gone, but Kathleen and the rest of the team are going to be there waiting for your orders and emails, and hopefully you stop by and pay them a visit if you get a chance. So they always do such a great job that it's great to have them there.
You just about don't have to be there.
Just about. Some days I don't have to be there, that's for sure. So then I was thinking, okay, it's been a while since I've been on a retreat. It was a year ago that we went to this Edmonton retreat. Yeah. So what am I going to pack for my personal stuff? And the other consideration is that personal space for stitching is really tight. So there's not a whole lot you can't bring it all. You have to kind of pick and choose. So I put together kind of my, top 10-ish, a list of things that I would want to take on the retreat with me. And I thought I would share them with everybody in the video here. And Rose, chime in if you think of anything too.
I'm laughing because I don't go to retreats.
You don't go to retreats. We're going to have to change that.
Yeah, I know. Life.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the pile of things that I have here and show them off to you.
For sure.
So the first thing is that in a retreat that's this size, there's going to be 150 stitchers. We can't bring lights that have cords because they're a tripping hazard, because it's hard to get power everywhere that you need to be. So the answer is the Halo Go rechargeable light. So that's this guy. Sit back and see. So he's flexible. There's a magnifier. There's a couple of levels of light. So that's great. I really like mine. I'm going to sneak in a short story here. Lisa and I took these in our carry-on luggage when we went to Europe. And because we knew we really wanted to stitch on the plane, we weren't going to be able to sleep, and the light on the plane can be crummy. So we had to change flights in Germany and had to go through security in Germany. So we each had these in our bags that went through the X-ray machine. And that's what you're supposed to do with something that has a lithium ion battery in the base, is not put it in your checked luggage, but take it in your carry-on luggage. So they put it through the X-rays and they saw these round things that showed up as batteries. So before we know it, there's like 6 people that are doing the security looking at our items on the screen. And then the German police came.
Oh no.
So we had 3 German police officers with their automatic or semi-automatic, whatever they are, rifles strapped across their chests,
Right.
interviewing us because they were too scared to open our bag to look in it to see what it was. So, and you know, we tried to explain the concept of stitching and light and magnification, but the language just wasn't there to tell them that.
Oh,
So
really?
I think that they talked to us until they figured out that we were just not really threatening, and then they got brave enough to go into our bags and look for the lights. And
Oh my goodness.
anyways, so if you travel with your Halo Go lamp, just be prepared that that might happen to you too.
Good
But
to know.
we got so much stitching done in the flight to, this was in Frankfurt, and then again from Amsterdam to, we flew through Toronto. We got so much stitching done because we had our lights with us that I wouldn't travel again without it. So
Right, right.
yeah. So anyways, light, rechargeable, compact, just a really good choice.
Can I add in my little take on that? And I
Yeah.
have to grab something just over here. I'll be really quick. So I am on my second Halo Go because my original one, I had a soft knitting case that I put it in.
Yeah.
And not sure how it happened a couple years ago, but it broke on one end, and my husband glued it so it made it, you couldn't, I can't remember if it was the base. It was the base. You couldn't move the base. You could move the head like this, but not the base. So when I decided to buy my second Halo lamp, I thought, okay, everyone's talking about these hard knitting cases, and I couldn't find them anywhere. And then I happened to watch somebody on one of the videos, and they talked about a hard case that you use for not a laptop, but a tablet or something like that you put in. And so this is what I bought. And it's hard. It's the right size. It fits my Halo. Pardon me. And it's got a handle. So that's the inside of it.
Oh, interesting.
And it's not huge, but it works. And so nothing will break on that.
Well, I did find a soft-sided knitting needle case on Etsy that fits mine, but I don't know that they're available anymore. So just be prepared. Watch the comments on the video, because people might ask you where you got your case, and you might.
And I wish I could. I can look it up. I can look
Okay.
it up. I bought it off of Amazon, and the name of this is Geekria, Geekria. So if you go onto Amazon and Google that, Geekria hardcover case. So.
Cool. Good. Okay, so moving along. The other retreat stitching essentials that I have. A very good pair of scissors. So we still have a good selection of the Kohanas in the bright red and in the burnt umber, which is the dark brown, with the scissor sheaths so that you can put them away and protect them. And of course, the Kohana scissors do come in the pretty wood box wrapped in this velvety kind of satiny fabric. So good pair of scissors. Then you have to have your mug. You have one of these, at least one of these.
Yeah.
So it says procrastinate, verb to cross stitch when you could be doing housework. Yeah. So it could be to be on retreat while you should be doing housework, but you need to have muck.
Exactly.
Okay, some lotion, some Stitcher's lotion, greaseless so that it doesn't transfer onto your project. This one is actually called Apricot and Honey. My suggestion would be to actually take unscented, because you never know who your table mates are going to be or what they're going to be sensitive to. So, but we do have the unscented option available. This is just what I grabbed. This new tool that we brought back from the Nashville Needlework Market, the Cross Stitch Buddy Ultimate. So it's everything that you need. So it's got a corner gauge. It's got a 17-inch ruler. It has a needle size guide to tell you what needle to use with what count of fabric. That's over here, actually. It's got a list of strands by count of fabric so that you have that right at your hands if you're starting a new project. It's got math on there to help you with your project size math. And then it's got a little space here, hard to see, but it's for counting out the count of your fabric too. So everybody needs these.
One more thing it does, if you are taking a skein and putting it on one of those floss bobbins,
Drops,
you can, you can floss drops.
Yeah, so
it gives you
each of these edges, if you wrap your thread around it and then cut at the end, will give you different lengths of cuts of thread. So depending on what you like.
Yep.
And then once you cut your thread, you need to put them either on thread drops. These are the Access Commodities ones. Or I actually prefer floss away bags. I use them, the floss away bags. So they've got the number space on the back where you can write what the number is. And then I just take the threads there for a project, put them on a ring, and keep them all together for that way.
That is my preferred.
Yeah, especially for the spools of 100/3. It's really good for organizing those. So the floss away bags are my go-to thread storage.
And just keep in mind for anybody that's, you know, really about floss drops, and that is a cool way, is the floss away bags keep everything clean. It keeps your silk from getting frayed, because that can over time. So a couple things to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely. So another thing for the tight space consideration is we have in the shop these stitching mats that are made by our friend Corey in the States. That they're beautiful fabric on the outside and snap closure, but when you open them up, they have, this is cork. So you put your mug on it.
Okay.
And if you happen to be drinking something that's maybe a little bit sweaty, like coffee, iced coffee or something like that, water bottle, the cork will absorb that, which is great, because I had water sweat on my desk at work yesterday and it just made a mess of all of my papers. It has a little tool leash, so whether you just keep your needle minder there or your scissors so that they don't migrate or whatever, and then unclip them when you need them. And it also has a little magnet in here for your needle or to rest your scissors on as well. And then it's made of that quilt bat stuff that's a little bit tacky for your threads. So when you're done stitching for the day, you just snap it up and everything's all together.
It's a really good idea.
But seriously, at these retreats with so many people, this is about how much personal space you're going to have anyways. So the mat is really useful for kind of delineating your space. Making sure that you're not intruding in on other people and stuff. So
can I interject?
Of course.
When you're at a retreat and there's a lot of people, make sure that if you have a mug of coffee, put it on the ground, or tea, because if you bump it and it may go on to your next person's items, I don't think they're going to be too happy. Leave the water on the table. That's not going to really hurt, but keep any of those hot or cold drinks that may stain your wine, your beer, and maybe, or put them in a sealable mug of some sort, of travel mug.
Yeah, regardless, they should be in something that's spill proof for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you spill your stuff on your piece, it doesn't really matter. The only person you have to be mad at is yourself. But if it's somebody else's piece, it's not the same. The other items that we have from Corey that are essential for attending a retreat, I think, are project bags. So this is the large size project bag. And she does such an awesome job of the outer fabric matching to the lining fabric, matching to the zipper, and then always a pull. And this one happens to be the large size bag. So, and then you can see what's in there through the plastic. And that's always awesome. I have beautiful, beautiful stitching bags that are fully fabric, and then I always have to open them to remember what I put in them. So, and then of course I showed this a little bit earlier, but we have a really nice assortment of thread beds that Corey has also made for us. We will have all of these things with us at the retreat, but they're also orderable through our website.
Okay.
Okay. You have to always have your book of days with you so that you can record the project that you stitched on the day and how much progress you made on it. And then also in the front of organizational bags, we just got in a shipment of these mini plaid bags. Shepherd's Bush has just released a series of designs that you actually stitch on these mesh bags that are super cute. So yesterday we got in a shipment of some of the colors that we ordered. They're so popular, some of them are on back order, but that gives you an idea.
Okay.
And then the size. And then I think just like 3 strands of floss or maybe a pearl cotton you could stitch on them and have good success. So that's those. And then to give you an idea of scale, this is the original plaid bag that came out that Shepherd's Bush has also done some designs for. So big ones that can hold almost everything and little ones that are a little bit more compact. But you need to be organized that way for sure. I will be taking my Lowry floor stand and using the corner clamp for my Jonson stitching while I'm at retreat. It's nice and compact and can tuck up to me without really being in anybody else's space, whereas some floor stands you just don't have that option. So Lowry. And then in my Lowry, I mount my frame on the American Dream Products is my frame of choice. And I like to use the one that has the webbing, but we also have the ones that have the Velcro system for attaching your fabric to the frame. So that's that. You can see it in use here for my Jonson sampler. Alternatively, people do really like Q snaps. So we also make sure to always have those available as well. I like to prop up my chart on a magnetic board, and because we're doing the Jonson sampler and it's a full-size book, I am going to take my big magnetic board. So it's the bigger one.
It is, yeah.
And then I can put out the chart like this and see both pages as I
okay,
yeah. So I really like that. It's an essential, and it's probably takes up too much space, but I can put it right up my front there and it'll work okay. Oh, and you can't go anywhere without a package of Bowen tapestry needles, right?
I was
You
waiting.
need those. And so these are the ones that we break down into packages of 25. And so they're really good value. And Bowens are my favorite. We also are now doing this with the Colonial Needle Tapestry Petites. We currently have really good stock of 24, 26, and 28 in those. So if you've been looking for the petites, now's a great time to order them. And so I think that other than that, I need snacks, but I should be covered.
Sounds good. Don't bring the Cheetos.
Yeah.
Don't
or
bring the
Doritos.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, unless you're going to eat them with chopsticks.
Yeah. Chopsticks or what do you call them? I can't think of what you call them. Little pincers, tweezers. I don't know. Yeah. You know, think of something that is not messy, doesn't get on your hands, maybe has packaging around it. And if you're going to bring, you probably have to bring enough to share.
True. Yeah. Or go somewhere else to have your snack break.
Yeah, that's right.
It never hurts to get up and move around anyways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good, cool. All right, so now I'm going to show off a little hand-dyed linen parade. We're still at the point where we're waiting for big hand-dyed linen shipments to come in. But the other thing is what's happening is when they do come in, we have advanced orders and very little stock is actually hitting the floor of the shop. Almost everything is going to fill pre-orders. So as always, place your order of exactly what you know you want. Hang tight till we can fill it. We don't charge you until the day your package is ready to be shipped. So if there's anything that's out of stock and you want it, just be prepared to wait and we will get it to you.
Okay.
So I got a shipment of tabby cat linens from France that included the new color that is called Ashley Down. So the fabrics that I'm going to show you here, I have at least a yard, probably more on hand. We do have these fabrics in other counts that I'm not going to show you that might not be a full yard, but we do still have some stock available. So this is the Ashley Down.
Okay.
Yeah, so modeled one, but lightly modeled and with quite a light background. I'm going to show you the creme brulee, which is kind of similar a little bit later, but it's got a more of a creamy background than the Ashley.
Okay.
But this would be really good for like this Hands Across the Sea, Sarah Milthorpe sampler and that kind of thing. It would work really well. Then some more tabby cat. This is just the ticket, which is just a really beautiful kind of golden toned linen.
Okay.
And then, oh, this is the creme brulee. I had asked Michelle to do a batch of 46 count creme brulee, mostly because I wanted some, but also I ordered extra for the shop that is more lightly modeled than creme brulee can sometimes be.
Yeah.
So this is how it came out. And I think it's amazing. And so we have this in 46 count. So if you order 46 count creme brulee from the shop right now, this is the dye lot that you're going to get. And it's pretty nice. And then some needle and flax that I have. This is 32 count, which we have more call for the 36, 40, 46 count, but this is a 32 count. And it's called Alcott. And it was used in a design that was released in Nashville that's been super popular, but I can't think of right off the top of my head. And so this is just such an awesome neutral fabric and 32 count for those of you that prefer 32 count. More needle and flax. This one is Fragile. Yeah, and I'm going to hold these up so you can see the difference in colors. This is 36 count Brea, so more golden.
Right.
And this is 40 count Hawthorne, so a little bit more to the green gray.
Yeah.
And this is Dolly Madsen, which has been super popular. Oops, I'm not doing a very good job of this. And it's just the perfect sampler color. And we have this in a number of different counts as well.
Oh, good.
So just looking at these in the stack in the shop of the needle and flax linens is just, you want to pet them because they're just so beautiful all together and the colors are just so awesome. So these are all listed in the Hand Dyed Parade link on our website. And so you'll find the link to that in the description box below the video. And it just shows all the ones that I've featured here. And if we have lots in a different count than I've shown you, that's listed there too. And then I just have a couple of fiber on the whim colors to show you. This is 32 count persimmon. So it is fairly similar to like Weeks Dye Works Sanguine.
Oh,
which yeah, we've used for some cottage garden samplings designs. Just it's a little bit orange, but pinky and just great modeling and
a soft terracotta.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, really. And when I saw this in Nashville, it just had to come home with me. So yeah, I thought I'd share it because it kind of really appealed to me. Persimmon. And then this is another fiber on a whim fabric that it's called parchment. but it's pretty green
It
for
is.
parchment, but it still is just a stunning piece of fabric. Like, look at all
Mhm.
that mauling.
Mhm. Cool.
So not too parchmenty, I don't think, but still something worth having, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So that's my little pile of hand-dyed leggings.
There you go.
Yeah. So what have you got coming up in the next month?
Well, we're not camping at the moment, so that's kind of hanging on. We have a parade we have to go into, so we put our old truck in that. Yeah, lots of outdoor things if we can manage, and try to get some stitching in. It's a little bit hard now with the weather being so nice and being out of doors, and I don't stitch outside very well because I still like my magnifying lamp, so I'll knit outside. And yeah, got some gardening, got some babysitting, lots of work.
No, good.
That's about it. So
Hmm.
how about you?
Well, yard work and after the retreat, we kind of have a little bit of a break, but then the next thing that's going to be on our radar in the shop is the Needlework Marketplace, which is the online wholesale trade show that happens at the end of August. And so we should start seeing some sneak peeks of designs that are going to be released then coming up soon. So
Right.
we'll be stocking up the website with those. And last year we participated, was the first year for this particular online show. And I was really impressed with the offerings that were there. So I have full expectations that this year is going to be just as great. So kind of
Okay.
keeping an eye on that. And the gals in my shop are going to be cycling through their summer holidays. So
Mhm.
just that time of year coming up.
That's right.
Mhm.
It'll be a
And
little
then,
quiet there then.
yeah, I think so. But that's okay because we get lots of other things done. And I am still trying to clean out the corners and find all the special things that have slid in behind over the last little while. So that's an endeavor that we're undertaking in the shop, which means that there's a lot of things, new things getting added all the time to our sale section. So keep your eye on that. And then the other thing that is in a little bit further of a distance is in September, we have two designers who are coming to the shop at the same time for a meet and greet.
Mhm.
So we will tell you more about that when we've got all of the details pinned down, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited about it. So
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything either. I know all about it. I've known
But
for a
yeah,
long time, but
yeah, well, you're coming too, aren't you?
yeah, as far as I know, barring, I'll have to look at my calendar, but barring any, monumental thing that happens in my life,
Yep,
I'll be
you'll
there.
be there. Okay, well, that sounds really good. So, and then we're going to meet and have a video recording in the middle of July to talk about month number 6 of Ann Jonson and some strategy for tackling that satin stitch around the verse and go from there.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a really good month and you get some of that stitching done.
Yeah, me too. If not, it's not a big deal.
Right. Other good things.
Exactly. So,
Good. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Rose.
thank you.
All right. Have a good month.
You too, Janice.
Okay.